Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3 o'clock. I will call to order the Chipley, Florida Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. First order of business, I would invite you to stand with us for the prayer and pledge if you so desire.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity for us to do business for the city. We ask that you be with us and help us to make the right decisions for our community. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next order of business, I would ask for approval of the agenda.
I so moved.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye, please.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The city of Chipley welcomes you to this meeting. It is time set aside for the citizens of Chipley to address the Planning and Zoning Commission. This is not a question or answer period. It is not a political forum, nor is it a time for personal accusations or derogatory remarks to or about city personnel. If you would like to address the board, please raise your hand, be recognized, come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record, please. If you're attending the web, there are instructions on your screen as to how to ask questions during our comment portion of the meeting. Your participation, as always, is welcomed and appreciated. Our first order of business today is a request for a variance of 966 Lara Lane. Ms. Tamara?
How's everybody doing today?
Great. And good to see you.
Yes.
Good to be back, good to be back. We do have a request for a variance for 966 Lear Lane, WJH Florida LLC. Their quarry is, oh, I'm sorry. You can sit here for a second. He's representative with Century 21, the owner. The property is located at 966 Lear Lane, approximately 0.288 acres. The proposed variance will allow the current setbacks to the residents and allow the ability to transfer ownership of the resident. It is a new construction. A variance is needed for the front setback only. The front setback is currently 20 feet, 4 inches. All other yard setbacks have been met. In this packet, if you look under the variances, number 4, where it says special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land structure or building involved and which are not applicable to the other land structures or buildings in the same zoning district. The special conditions of the building of the subject development is that the front yard setback is less than 30 feet. The City of Chipley Land Development Code does not provide requirements for any exceptions to the code as it is related to the yard setbacks. There have been, I believe, at least 5 variances in this subdivision due to the setback. Number 5, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. The applicant initially requested approval of plans on May 6, 2025. They were approved. On June 3rd, 2025, there was revision plans that were approved. The yard setbacks on both plans met the City of Chipley requirements. The current plans received on January 8, 2026 from the applicant were not approved through the City of Chipley. The new county building inspector, as of January 26, is aware of the City of Chipley's yard setback requirements. Do y'all have any questions? Have y'all reviewed the packet?
Anyone have questions?
Yeah,
I think there may have been some miscommunication with the county as they do the permitting and we do the planning.
you, Jim.
Who owns these lots that keep having to get a variance on them?
Now, this owner, I believe they have several lots, but I don't think it's the variance. This is the first time they've had to have a variance.
You've had 5 others, you said?
Yes, that was actually in the subdivision. There's actually probably, if you look at the property appraiser, you can look at the property appraiser site and you can tell that there's probably most of the houses, I would say probably half the houses in Martin Woods are
But not any
probably
of their houses, but this one, right?
just this one, as
Yeah. It's been
far as
other
I
peop-
know.
other
I
owners.
haven't checked the
Yeah.
setbacks, so.
Yeah.
It's just this one, it's on a cul-de-sac.
It is on a cul-de-sac.
We had to pull it forward because there were some trees.
Why were they done in the original plans?
What I think has happened is, I think they failed to bring, when they revised them again, this last set, they didn't bring them to us. They probably took them right to the county, and the county approved them, because they do all the permitting.
But
That's
they
why I
have-
talked to the the new county inspector, to make sure that he understands that we have different codes and setbacks than the county does.
But they knew it the first two times, right?
Well, we pulled it up. We pulled it up.
Please introduce yourself, sir.
Corey Morgan, Centric Complete. I'm 136 in Grayling Way in Inlet Beach, Florida.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we pulled the house up to preserve some trees, and we pulled a 30-foot measurement off of the street, and then called the county to come back out and make sure, verify that it was okay before we poured the slab. We got approval, and so we proceeded forward. But after we were doing our final elevation certificate with our surveyor, the property line actually is about 10 foot off the street, is where we should have pulled that measurement from, instead of pulling it from the street. So we're 30 feet off the street, but we're not 30 feet off of the actual, where the property says where we're requesting the variance.
Any other questions?
So the county is the one that approved that for them?
Yes, sir.
It's a new bill.
You need to inform the county that they need to go by the city's
I did.
directions and not the county's directions. Because if the guidelines and those other properties that's for sale or whatever don't meet our guidelines, they might not get approved next time.
My question would be, these other 5 that were previously approved, was that because of the same issue of the county?
That I don't know. That was prior to me, I believe. Paper, the variance were done prior to me.
We haven't gone through the requests.
Patty can answer that.
Well, she's got her hand raised. Patty, come up and,
Over the years, over the last 20 some odd years, there have been multiple, just 5 that Tamara researched probably over the last 10 or 15 years, but over the years, there have been multiple variances that have been approved for the same development. At one time, back quite a few years ago, sometime in the last 10 years, I researched the minutes. It was determined that back then there was a new building inspector for the county. And Mr. Minor, the prior city administrator, did confirm in the city council minutes that we would make sure to notify the building inspector so the building inspector would know. We did that. That building inspector at that time was aware of it. We, however, have now gotten a newer, in the last year or so, building inspector. And that building inspector, apparently, until I had Tamara contact him on the 26th this month, was not aware of that. Now, he did not say he approved it. He did not research it and say he approved it. So I'm not going to say that he approved it. All I can say is that at this time, the city has done what we need to do to make sure that the building inspector knows that those setbacks have to be approved by the city. They cannot be approved by him prior to moving forward with the construction.
Is this inspector employed by the county, or is he another one that they've hired out of Panama City or someplace to just do it temporarily?
I believe he is hired by the county, I believe, because they did research that at the county level to determine whether it was approved by contract worker or current building inspector.
I will hold that personal thought. Any other questions?
Well, I feel like there could be better communication, definitely, especially if it's happened 5 times. We want our builders to be able to build these houses without any risk, and this is a pretty big risk.
Yes, it is. I agree.
And we want our people moving into Chipley not having the stress of buying a house and having an issue like this.
Yeah, because that's held, there is a buyer on that home through my office, and that has held him up for months to be able to close,
And
when they
from-
found it out.
And from being one of the individuals that had the issue, it is quite stressful. And you don't want to have to deal with it when you're trying to purchase a house. It will literally make you decide to go somewhere else.
Yes.
So if we could fix this problem with our communication with our county officials, that's what we need to do.
And that's what we have worked toward, yes. So we have notified them as of the 26th of this month. We will actually, on our end, on the city end as well, when we're issuing land use compliance or reviewing new development plans, we will actually make sure that the developer or the homeowner, whoever comes in and applies, knows all of this up front, so that they're aware of what's required of them moving forward. So I believe that that will help resolve this in the future.
Is this an issue where the surrounding neighbors were contacted about this and you got their opinions, like or dislike?
This is a variance, so yes,
Yes.
it was mailed out to everyone within 300 feet.
And the responses?
I'll let Tamara address that with you.
We just send out a notice of hearing. There were 20 people notified, and 15 signed the certified mail. So unless they're here, it just, all we're required, just let them know about the notice.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I would just like to say, if they're gonna request a variance, it needs to be requested prior to building the house on the lot. It's hard to turn somebody down after the house is built and ready to sell, but it could happen, so they need to get everything taken care of prior to building on those lots.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's real hard to turn them down, but it'd be a terrible thing to punish them for someone else's.
I understand, that's what I'm saying, it needs to be taken care of prior to any construction on the sites.
Okay.
And that is normally the way that it should take place. We actually have one in hand right now for next month possibly, that is the case. They came to the city prior to construction and they're requesting a variance. So that is the normal procedure, but we will make sure in the future when that land use compliance certificate is issued, that they're aware that any changes to the plans need to be approved by the city before they do anything.
Were these setbacks changed since that land was developed?
No, I don't believe so.
The plans, the ones they brought to us were correct,
Well, I'm talking
and the
about-
revised ones were correct.
Originally.
Okay, I got you.
I just have some history that years ago when I was working with Habitat for Humanity, we had a lot that we could not build a main floor plan that we used, and didn't realize at the time we had this property already in town. And we were told we couldn't get a variance, so we had to cut 4 foot off the back of the plan before we could even build. It just seems like it's awful bad that we're having to change this every time we build a house in that development.
There have been multiple, like I said, just 5 that were researched, but there have been multiple over the years. I believe a couple of them were requested prior to build, but most of them that we found were requested after.
I would recommend we do some kind of hub survey on the foundation before we pour, and then have the inspector inspect the hubs.
Okay, so normally, in the past, prior building inspector would actually contact the city to go out there with them before they inspected. That way they could make sure, we could make sure that our setbacks were accurate. Again, we have a new building inspector, so things have changed a little. But in the conversation that Tamara had with the building inspector on the 26th, that was one of the requests that they discussed. So hopefully in the future, we will be notified. Again, they're the permitting agency, so we have no way to know at what point, unless Tamara happens to drive by there, that they're at that point in the construction. So we are going to do our best with communication with the building inspector and with the building department to try to make sure that happens. Again, I was not told they made that decision. I'm hearing that now from Corey, but I was not told myself that they made the decision and inspected and approved it. But just based off of the things I'm hearing, it sounds that way. So, but again, the building inspector does now know that if he did make that decision to approve it, we in the future need to be involved prior to that happening.
Anything from our audience? If there are no other questions or comments, I would ask for a motion to approve or not approve.
I'm abstaining from voting because my realtor has it under contract, one of my realtors.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Made and seconded that we approve it. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
I believe the ayes have it. Let's put for the record, any nays? The ayes have it, so be it. I would like to say that, and I know you well enough to know you may have already done this, maybe communicate with the county that when positions change, that a little courtesy communication to sit down and talk about these things. Person may come from someplace that is totally different. Make sure everybody's on the same page to avoid this type of
Yes.
possible hardship on someone. All right. Thank you, sir. Secondly, we have another thing before us, a development order, is it?
Development order and variance are for Watts Avenue. It's at the corner of Watts and 7th Street. Serene Life Beer Garden. Anthony Thompson, the owner, he is present. They are asking for a development order and variance for the alcohol beverages for the Serene Life Beer Garden. Property is located at Watts Avenue, 0.28 acres. They're also doing a development. The proposed development will be an entertainment establishment and has been reviewed by the city's planning firm, Kimley Horn, and meets all standard uses, allowed densities, intensities, and design development and design standards for Chapter 44 zoning, corridor development district. If they do have a very detailed report for their CDD. On the variance, they are requesting to allow alcoholic beverages for the sales on the property. Chapter 4, the alcoholic beverages, they are needing a variance for the distance for the dwellings or residents of 500 feet. There was a notice of public hearing mailed out to 14 property owners. 12 property owners signed and returned the certified mail. Property is not in a flood zone. The only thing, I believe there's another thing in here. Can we want to address, they did have two different applications for the signage. One sign will be only allowed. They did have two. Y'all have any questions? Anthony? Do you want to say anything?
Is there someone here to represent?
Anthony? Oh. And Alyssa.
Would you please come up and introduce yourself for the record?
Alyssa Pettis, Tri-State Companies. I'm the engineer for Mr. Thompson. Basically, the development consists of just a bar area, like lounge area, so to speak, and a picnic area. I don't know if you have the plan in front of you, but so to the south, there will be a picnic area, and then to the north of the property, there's a small stage area. And so to the, west. Thank you so much. So to the southwest side of the property, the bar area, that is going to be the main entrance portion of the development. And basically, that'll be the majority of the impervious surfaces on the project, so you won't have anything. We're proposed to elevate anything other than the picnic area, because there's existing stormwater that discharges onto the site, so we wanted to account for that and make everything else elevated, so it could still percolate through the soils, and there would not, create any off-site issues.
It's family oriented too.
Yes.
I believe you're gonna have a stage, and they'll have outside activities for families.
I believe the only issue is really the property that is immediately west. It's a residence, but it's on the, I believe there was a lot split or a parcel split from that property, and that's how he acquired the parcel that is the subject parcel. So I don't believe that there would be any issues related to the variance request.
Yes, and it's low alcohol or non-alcohol, it's like, I think, 0.5. Right.
Anthony Thompson, 4731 Whitewater Lane, Crestview, Florida. Yeah, so the whole goal is to create a family-friendly environment. Our focus obviously would be like non-alcoholic beverages, because really we're trying to focus on the events and activities for, the community. It just so happens, it's like if you go to a backyard barbecue, some people may drink, some don't. But we understand the main focus is maybe to get together, enjoy family, friends, and catch up. So really, that's the objective of the beer garden.
Okay.
How many people can attend with the stage? I see we have like circles, I assume there's seats, or is it open seating, or bring your own?
Yeah, by the stage area, it can be like open seating in that area. Like we'll be providing like picnic tables and maybe some high top chairs so people can look on, but yeah.
How many parking spaces will you have?
Right now, I believe we have 15, is it 15 in place?
It's on the plans.
Just 15.
I think the plans indicate a couple of handicap parking spots and like 13 regular parking spots. Yeah, does anyone questions?
Is there a holding pond? Is that on the east side here, a holding for water?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the little thing on the east?
Yes,
Any other questions? I have a couple of questions. What's the max number of patrons that you can put in the building?
Inside the building or just on the property?
Inside the building?
Inside the structure, I think, maybe like, it's on there, I think it's maybe like 40.
Yeah, I was trying, I just couldn't find it when I was reading. Of course, a small print too. No.
Per code, I believe, it's going to be in your site table, it should be on the site plan.
It says 18
In the
feet.
calculation.
It says 18 in the plans.
Yeah, it says 18 in the bar area, the one lounge area 2, another 4, stage area maybe around 20, and the picnic area around 16.
Well, here's my concern, the reason I asked that question. You've only got 15 parking spots slotted. If you've got a capacity of 40 people inside, and weather is good, and you've got another 10 or 12 or 50 outside, where are they going to park?
They did meet the requirements, all that was required for the parking.
It meets those requirements, but for that many, possibility of that many people?
It goes by what type of business it is and such, so, yes.
Then I was gonna say also on the other side of the Piggly Wiggly parking lot, there's a public parking as well.
Okay?
Well,
The other side of where?
That is not public parking.
Only one person at a time, please.
Could you repeat that?
I was saying over on the other side of the Piggly Wiggly parking lot, there's, is that Church Avenue? There's.
Oh, you're talking on the street, on Church
Yeah.
Street?
Yes,
that's
sir.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what I've noticed with our increase of nightlife in downtown Chipley, parking is really an issue. And on the opposite side of the railroad of the station, there was a church that recently put up very large signs
That's right, yeah.
to discourage parking in their parking lot. And I'm not sure if that's from the business around or whatever's caused that, but that concerns me. And I want businesses to be successful, but I don't want their parking to be someone else's issues.
Correct, I agree.
They had to do that because I actually talked to the pastor there, and they had to do it because people were actually parking up at their front door, and they could, if they needed to run in the church for whatever reason, they couldn't get in their church.
Yeah.
So they had to wind up blocking it off from the public.
I certainly don't want to dissuade people from doing business in Chipley, because we absolutely need to do something with the property in Chipley and some of the empty buildings as well. The parking issue is my big issue. How many employees do you think you'll have on site during business hours, max business hours?
Matt's probably about 2 to 3. Two to myself,
Because
yes.
they've got to have some place to park as well, and that eliminates 2 or 3 or patron parking spots. And I just don't want to see parking become an issue, especially if people think they can park in the Piggly Wiggly's parking lot if they choose to, and if Piggly Wiggly does not want that because of liability and so forth. I don't want that to be cause of, a neighbor issue. So there's a concern there. Any other questions, comments? Anyone in our audience?
I have a issue I'd like to address.
Please come to the podium and introduce yourself. Thank you, sir.
My
Appreciate
name
you.
is Rena Harrell. Address is 1660 Coy Drive, Chipley. I own the property due north of where this is proposed. My concern is the parking. I already have an issue on occasion with semis turning through my parking lot and coming. It is not public parking, it's private. I have 4 buildings there with engineers. They're all full. One is a state-occupied building. those employees come at all hours of the day and night. And I don't want them to have an issue with people in the parking lot just kind of roaming around, whatever. And I don't want the property damaged. And I see that is an issue already just from when the house that's on the corner there, that was recently done on the north side of my southwest building, which is a yellow vinyl sided building. Construction workers would just pull there and park. Well, that's their parking, and they use it. And if you happen to notice when you go by during the day, the lot is pretty full already during the day, not necessarily at nighttime, but I just don't want it used because it will be broken down. And I have a concern about trash, people just chunking things out, leaving it on the pavement. We try to keep the lot clean, well-maintained. The city has started keeping the retention area cleaned and mowed because we take the drainage from this property, comes under the street into our retention pond and then flows out into the city ditch. So my concern is the parking and the abuse it might get.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am, and I'll call on you next, sir. Please come to the podium.
I have a little public speaking anxiety, so.
Can we have your name, please?
My name is Rhonda Haddock.
And your address?
774 Main Street.
Okay,
All right, I'm here to oppose the variance for that property located at Watts Avenue and 7th Street. I respectfully request that you deny this application because it will destroy the peace we currently enjoy in the neighborhood. And I believe the proposal will negatively alter the essential character of our neighborhood. The proposed establishment is fundamentally inconsistent with a residential area. The secondary effects will be immediate and damaging. Noise and public welfare, we're talking about loud activities and noise throughout the day, into the night, the weekends, loud patrons, increased vehicle noise, would also be a direct violation of our right to the quiet enjoyment of our home. When we work all day and when we come home, we expect to have some peace and quiet at some point. Traffic and safety, our streets are not designed for the increased traffic associated with such an establishment and their activities. Watts Avenue at the proposed location is little more than a one-way alley. Two people, cars can't even pass each other right there. Talking about the yellow building. You can't even, it's one way. A traffic study should show that that would create congestion, endanger pedestrians. Neighborhood children walk back and forth up there to Piggly Wiggly all the time. Can impede access for first responders and emergency vehicles. Property values, I believe that proximity to such an establishment is a known deterrent for home buyers. Granting the variance will diminish the resale value of the surrounding homes. Potential for increased crime and disorderly conduct. This type of business will also increase police calls and vandalism and other disturbances associated with these types of establishments. Furthermore, we must strictly adhere to proximity rules. Allowing alcohol sales sets a dangerous precedent that undermines the very purpose of our local zoning ordinances. Their application states non-alcoholic beverages, but as soon as they're approved for selling alcohol, what's to stop them at that point from selling beer, wine, or there's nothing to stop them. We do have other commercial businesses in our neighborhood, but they have normal daytime operating hours. They don't disrupt or endanger any residents with their daily activities. So I urge you to protect the public welfare and maintain the integrity of our residential zone by denying the variance. If the commission is nonetheless inclined to approve this, I formally request strict conditions, noise limitations, a mandatory closing time of 10 p.m., no outdoor seating or patios, and a requirement for private security to prevent loitering and littering. A traffic study and noise mitigation should also be required. Thank you for your time in protecting our neighborhood.
thank you, ma'am. Sir? Please come up and introduce yourself. Give us your address.
Hello, John Cowerly, 746 3rd Street. I'm not real good at speaking in front of people, so I had something written down, and it sounds almost exactly what that lady just said. Good afternoon. I'm here to speak on behalf of my family, and specifically my niece and great-niece, who lives just doors away from the proposed site. This neighborhood was and is a safe place where children play and families like to build their lives. Introducing another bar-type business into this neighborhood isn't just progress, it's a threat to this safe place. My great niece deserves a neighborhood like mine was when I grew up here, where a sidewalk was a place for families to take a walk, draw with sidewalk chalk, not a thoroughfare for late night patrons leaving an establishment after hours of drinking. We already have 1901, which is a block away. Another block, Chipley Station. Adding one more of this type of business in close proximity to each other increases traffic, late night activities, increases noise levels. Residents should not have to close their windows, which we like to keep them open, to block out noise or worry about chaos in the street. I urge the council to prioritize the safety of our residents and children over commercial expansion in the residential section. There are plenty of commercial sites better suited for this type of business that do not invade our residential area. Please don't wait for an incident to happen before realizing the location is not suitable. For the sake of my great niece and every other child in that neighborhood, I ask that you deny the proposal. On a side note, I do not discourage new businesses. We want new businesses, just not in our residential area, no matter how serene it might be.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The property is listed as commercial. There was a traffic study done. Kimberly Horn did review it.
I'm sorry, Mr. You said it is listed as commercial.
It is listed as commercial, the property is listed as commercial, and a traffic study has been done. And I believe he's not staying, the hour's gonna be like 10 o'clock at night, or?
Please.
I was just gonna follow up, with the concerns and stuff, because I completely understand and get it. But our goal is, it's literally, we got the property from Susanna, and it's a backyard. And really, that's the essence of what it will be. It's an extension for every resident in Chipley where people can come and enjoy themselves. And we will take into consideration the noise. I understand the charm, the characteristics, everything that Chipley embraced. That's what I love, that's what I like. And I'm gonna do everything within my power to assure you that let's preserve that, let's keep that. It's not to take away, and I agree, we have 1901 Chipley Station. Those two places that I do enjoy. But the focus here is really about family. My father, he doesn't drink. So that's really where the non-alcoholic part is coming from. I enjoy spending time with him. I enjoy having a drink with him, even though it's non-alcoholic. So the goal is to really, come together, to enjoy each other, to, it's a lot of feelings and emotions, I know, for all of us. But I just really want to assure you that, the business will not encroach upon your space. Everything that you're saying, I agree. I don't want to hear no loud noise.
I see it from the front porch, that encroaches on my space.
What you'll see is just, not to, I guess, do the great reveal, but it would just basically simply be a backyard. You're not going to see rowdy people. That's not who I am as a person. We're not going to create trash and a lot of noise. That's not the goal. That's not even the intention of the place. If you can see it, it's going to be a nice outside area. The goal is for it to be your backyard away from home. And that's really our goal. You don't have to worry about people getting drunk, affecting the downtown area, because that's not the purpose of it. We have kids. The place is gonna be a place where our kids can go every day. You know, if we can't go there, you know, I mean, it doesn't make sense for no one. So I know obviously it'll take time, trust, and understanding. That's something that I'm willing to, you know, give you and to give all, you know, anyone that may doubt or be in opposition of it. And I understand, but I'm just trying to tell you, you don't have to worry about like, oh, we're just using non-alcoholics to go ahead and bring beer and liquor. It's like, that's not the intention. I can care less about the drinking part. It's the family part. It's the getting together, enjoying each other, being respectful of other people's space and everybody around us. So I just kind of want to, you know, throw that out there. You know, and I'm more than willing to, you know, speak outside of these walls with anyone. You know, if you have questions, if you like to have a part in or have a say in what you think and, you know, what you would like to see take place, but it's going to be respectful. It's going to be honoring to Chipley and also everybody else that's around.
But your variance is for alcohol.
Yes, unfortunately, I think here in the city of Chipley, non-alcoholic is the same as,
It's gonna be a brewery.
yeah.
I understand, but you sell alcohol.
No, I get their concerns. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to really show respect. But, you know, I don't write the codes or anything. It's just, you know, that's one of the things that's required in order to even provide and brew non-alcoholic beverages.
Thank you again, sir.
The engineer.
I just wanted to bring a technical standpoint to, the issues with the noise. The owner has exceeded the, buffering. Typically, you would only see, you know, the 10-foot landscape buffer, around the perimeter of the property. But he is also fencing the property as well. So, that should eliminate some of the noise issues related to that.
What type of fence?
I'm assuming a wood fence.
Just wood fence.
I know in Campbellton, Florida, there's a beer garden right there at the corner of 2 and 231. And I want to say they have like a 10-foot metal fence around the whole thing.
Yes,
You
sir.
can't see anything going on in there.
That's right, that's right.
You can hear it, but
I
it's
don't-
not obscene but if you roll down the window at the intersection sometimes on Saturday night, you can hear it.
I don't think that this is the same type of development. I believe it's more of a family-oriented, type of development proposed.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Any other
Mr. Mayor,
questions?
if you want to stay seated, we can work with that, okay?
Go
Wait,
ahead.
No, I just want you
Well,
to
you
rest
wouldn't
if
have
you
to
need
get
to.
up and down.
No, yeah, no, I'm not, quit it.
Was there any other questions? I mean, I think it's gonna look just like a backyard. It's gonna have beautiful landscaping, it's gonna be fenced in. And it's a nano brewery, so it's low alcoholic, but it's a brewery.
Is the brewery for on-site use only?
Yes.
When you said it's low content, you said 5% or below?
Yeah, 4.5 non-alcoholic, 0 alcohol, it's obviously 0. So you have to say it in the range of 0 to point.
What was it I heard about bring your own bottle? You can't? Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Okay.
And someone brought up some issues about traffic and security.
Traffic report that has been done, and King Horn did review it, and everything's okay with it.
How can everything be okay with Watson if it's not wide enough for 2 cars?
Just go right over the corner.
Is it a one-way or not?
That's the one way, but it's off Seventh Street as well. So Seventh Street goes into Seventh and Watts.
Right.
Watts is not one way, it's the one right next to it is Watts, but it is still tiny, yes. But as
we call, we,
Inspection that's gonna be on your north side, only one car can fit.
that's what I'm thinking, it's just one way off of Main Street or 77, going east off of the street there, okay, but it is two-way when you get back there to 7.
7th Street.
Okay. Well, it'd have to be.
Chairman Lancaster, when the traffic study is done, they take all routes into consideration, and because Seventh Street is a, two-lane, full-size roadway, that's why, I heard Ms. McCall ask the question as to how was that possible, but that's how they address it. They look at it, they have to look at all options, and there is a way in and a way out by a, feasible roadway, which is Seventh Street.
But not everybody's gonna come on Seventh Street.
I understand, I just wanted to explain that, how Kinley Horn was able to come to the consideration that it was acceptable, traffic study was acceptable.
Any other comments or questions? Any issues with the police department with this? I just want to ask that for the record. Okay. If there are no other questions or comments, I would ask for a motion for approval or not. I'll ask again for a motion.
I have one more question. Do they have permission from the Piggly Wiggly to park in their lot?
I spoke with, Adam Treadwell, the owner, and he's excited about the business, and I spoke to him also about the parking. There's, we're not gonna be parking in this private parking, it's like a total sale. He, didn't have to, it could be utilized, but he didn't have an issue at all, in fact, he, 100% support it.
I get it in writing.
No,
Because I
I'll-
don't give you that permission, but
Yes, ma'am, I'll definitely get it from.
Okay. The third and final time. Motion for or against.
I've always been pro-business and still am. I believe that everybody ought to have the opportunity to run their own business, such as you do. You run your rental properties and all that sort of stuff. One question I have for you is, when would you expect to get started on this if it was approved?
Personally, as soon as possible, sir. I mean, after everything is approved, like within 30 days, we'd like to start, going through the permitting process.
What's your finish time?
Like 6 months, maybe 6 to 9 months.
6 months?
Yes, sir. Because the biggest, or the main, structure will probably take more time, everything else is, is already there. Just, building up to the elevation, having put the turf down, utilize the existing grass. So it should give us a pretty, fast, efficient project.
If it's brought on according to the specifications that I'm seeing, I think it will be a pretty vast improvement for that area. And if it's held to the family standards that we're talking about now, I make a motion we approve.
Okay, motion has been made, we approve it. A second?
I'll second it.
Motion has been made, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I need a show of hands. Opposed? Based on what we've heard, and I truly understand the concerns of the neighbors. If I vote yes, I just hope that you're a solid citizen who will keep your word, that noise, traffic issues will be dealt with immediately and not down the road or hear excuses. Like Mr. Jim, I believe that Chipley, Florida could use all of the real businesses that it can, but I want it to be a real viable business for the community and not just for a few. And if it is operated as a family-oriented business, I am, with reluctance, going to have to say yes. So that means that it will be approved, or we will send it on to the city council. I thank everyone, and I truly thank each and every one of you for your comments and your concerns. That shows that you really and truly care about the community you live in. With all of the things that are going on in this country today, I'm extremely proud of where I live. I've only lived here 15 years. I retired and came here because I believe the Lord told me to come here and serve. I just ask that He bless what we accomplish here and forgive whatever we do amiss. That being said, again, we approve it.
That is based on the 10 p.m. closing time.
Yes, and everything has been said. Is there any other business that needs to be brought before the commission before I ask for an adjournment? Yes,
It's Susanna Crowlett, 781 Main Street, and Blue House right in front of the future development.
yes, ma'am.
I have been part of this community for 5 years now, and I saved one house, and this is the second house, and I believe in a comeback for Chipley. I look forward, and when he offered to buy the property, he said what he wanted to do, that it would be family-oriented, and I have not seen that yet happening in other parts of Chipley besides the beautiful playground that we have. And I look forward to bring more people into Chipley, more families, and I think that's a step forward in that direction. And I have an 80-year-old mom that is very strict, and she would have an issue with noise issues and other things, and before I sold it to him, I talked it over with her, I talked it over with him, and she said, yeah, go ahead and let him have the property, and I let it go for a very reasonable price because of the development, because I want to do something for the city to move forward, to have family, fun, and kids around. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No one else has anything? I do have some questions. We have some places here in town that have come before us and the city council for approval on construction or additions or one thing and another, and there's not been a spoonful of dirt turned on a couple of them.
Yes, we are addressing, I think I know which one you're talking about. We have addressed it. There should be activity moving in February. On another one, they are in their
Which one is that?
H-Car block.
Which one?
H&R Block.
Well, they
I've been
started,
wondering-
they just didn't finish.
Yeah.
And the
I've
building,
been
and the
wondering
building,
about
and
that
they,
too.
are we talking about that little building on the south
Yeah.
side of
Where they
there?
done the
Okay,
top
that's
thing.
specifically one, because that's in my neighborhood, that's what I'm thinking about, and.
They should be starting back. I've reached out to them and they should, I guess they ran out of funds. They should be starting back up in February.
Okay. Thank you, folks.
Wasn't the Tom Thumb supposed to be rebranded?
Have it, yes, they were supposed to.
I
And
seen
the-
a truck there though with that, was it what? was it?
Cumberland Farm, I
I
think
seen
it's
a
Cumberland
truck,
Farms.
truck there delivering with that on it,
Okay, they've done
with that
nothing.
name on it, but they hadn't changed anything
No.
outside.
And they've done nothing there at Brickyard in 77 on the stone place, marble or whatever it is.
Hadn't been anything done on
They'll
the
be
sign
adding on that.
we approved either.
I'm sorry?
The sign.
The
hadn't been done.
sign there at King Discount
Hmm.
Drug.
Yes.
Oh,
Nothing-
King's,
another
that's
one.
right.
Yes. They're still, that one may come back up.
Well, I guess my question is that, is there a time limit on these things where their permits run out? They will
have-
need to come back and reapply?
County permits, when they issue them, are good for 12 months. And then they can get an extension. They request an extension for 6 months. So it's 12 months, and then they can get another extension for 6.
Do you know if they've done that for the one there at South Boulevard and 77, the HR block, the building there?
No, but I will check and let you know.
They either need to do it or tear it down, in my opinion. It's an eyesore.
Yes, I agree.
Mr. Chairman, I've thought about this thing before, and we've run into the same thing time and time again, people are not making a move on what we've approved for them. Now, when we approved this, pretty much everything they want to do is already planned out, engineered and all that sort of stuff, so they shouldn't be waiting a long time.
No, it's in black and white.
What I would recommend is we approve it and give them a 3 months time limit to get something moving on
For
that piece
startup?
of property.
Like a startup?
Yeah, you got to at least get something started. And, if they have a legitimate reason that they can't do that, come in and request a 3-month extension.
I agree.
And then that's the end of it.
Yeah.
1 year build out, and that's it.
I agree totally. Yes, ma'am.
Chairman Lancaster, so this has been a topic of discussion for a few weeks now, probably longer than that. We are going to look at the code and see what the code requires, and if there's anything that needs to be changed in the code, then we will actually bring that to the planning and zoning and review that, so that the planning and zoning commission can make decisions on what they would like to see take place, and then we will take it to city council for approval to change the code. If it is because it's my understanding, it's 1 year, within 1 year they have to start construction, and then they can get 1 6-month extension. So, and then if it does not proceed at this time, then it has to come back to the P and Z commission. So we're going to look at all of that. We're going to determine what we need to make those changes, whether they be procedural changes or whether they be code changes. And we will bring that back to the planning and zoning commission to review and get your insight on.
Okay.
And what we want to see happen.
That's good.
What's happening is, people are tying up the abilities to get approved on something, and then they're sitting there not doing anything, and there's other people that would like to have that same opportunity, but they can't because it's already tied up close enough to them. And so, they either need to
Get it going.
get on with their business or
I
cancel
agree.
it.
Well, my grandmama used to say, action talks and something else walks. I'll just say talk walks. I think this particular board proved that when we made the decision as a board that if you brought something before us and you did not care enough to come here and talk to us about it, we would not hear it. We've had a couple of occasions where people had to come after they never showed up. I think that the city, as Mr. Jim said, I think a 90-day turn to do something is an adequate amount of time, because you've already, as he said, again, you've already got the paperwork completed. You've taken the time and the effort to come, if you need a variance for whatever, and gotten that, and if you're gonna sit on your hands and do nothing, if there's somebody else in the wings who are looking for an opportunity to do something, they ought to be given that opportunity. I'm through whining. I'd
Okay.
ask
Well, like I say, if Betty will bring that back to us, let us review what we
Yeah.
got.
We've actually, Sarah and I discussed it as soon as we came again, and she's going to reach out to some other agencies, governments,
Thanks,
All
man.
right. Okay, I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the folks who've come today and taken the time to express their concerns and their issues. If there's nothing else, I would ask for a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you again, God bless each and every one of you.
Turn your speaker off for you. Jim?
Yes.
Recording speaker off.